It is with great delight to find you here this morning, connecting in once more with this timeless teaching from the Counsel of Light. Take a deep breath in and bow down in reverence and respect to this land, to the lineage of teaching that stretches back in time to the timeless source of the eternal now. Soften and allow the heart to open. Turn the hands over to receive what is being presented and granted. Always ask, is what is coming through serving the highest good of unconditional love? Check in. We do not want our teaching to be received without that discernment. We do not have that power and charm to just be taken on face value. We are not here to seduce with our words and our vibration. You are sovereign beings, and we are sovereign beings. Masters of our own destiny. In fulfilling the soul contracts we are here and have signed up for. Take a deep breath in. What is it we want to speak to today? To take the teaching forward from where we finished last time. It begins with a question of what it takes to be someone who lives from their heart, from that place of love. And to speak to the journey and that transition out of that ego mind of fear in the collective and in the personal, and into this sovereign, heart-centered, heart-governed new world. And the great leap of imagination that must be taken to shift from that duality place of I and you and into that more expanded we state of consciousness, to live and breathe through the whole, not from the separated fragments that you may have been taught and raised and grown up with. A great shift in imagination. But to reach to that, we must first get that sense of knowing that there is something beyond the separated point of view. Even if that is your reality that you have been trained in for a lifetime. Even if there is no one else who has shown you what lies beyond that point of view. In some of us, there is that knowing, that timeless knowing. And that does not come from having had a special past life. It is a knowing we all have as children of God. This knowing of a more expanded, deeper perception of reality. But there has to be a moment in time when that cuts right through like a sword, through the density of all that has been absorbed from your environment, from your education, from your upbringing. All of the dross of what that has been for you. In a single moment it can be cut right through with that clarity of knowing. It is rare right now for one to emerge and to allow that sword to do its work. But that time of rarity is passing. That state of knowing that there is more is being stirred in more and more souls on this planet. Take great excitement in that. This time of great awakening and restoration as the children of God we are. To live as a good person on this planet requires more than just good behavior and good deeds according to some moral code. It truly does require that awareness of that we consciousness I speak of. The ancients talked of every decision I make must have a beneficial impact for 7 generations to come. And that is one aspect of the we awareness that needs to be cultivated. It is not possible to think in fragmentation, to think of what just serves the ego, the individuated self, to make its experience more pleasant and pleasurable, until the day it dies. The mindset of being born, to play around here, to win more than you lose, and then to die. And to shape that mindset with the ethics of good behavior, in the belief that if I behave good, that I will win more than I lose. My life will have been of value. That is not quite enough here. We must stretch. And take our place in the whole, and to think and live and breathe from the whole. And that can only be done through the heart. Through that great leap of imagination. Through a leap of faith. And a deep surrender. There has been no training in it. In your education, in your upbringing. There's no guidelines for it. How do I live as part of a whole? How do I move as an individual within that whole? How do I make choices? How do I engage in relationships? It can only happen with a lot of support. Through your devotion to your path of spiritual path. To your courage to never settle. To being satisfied by your own ego's desires and the fulfillment of its wishes. Which dwell in an impermanent reality that can never be sustained. What will it take for the individual to show up in this life? To walk this life with that all surrendered. and let go of. To do what needs to be done for the good of the whole. Even though you may receive no personal benefit for doing so. It may not make you feel good. Oftentimes you will be tested. Deeply tested in your commitment to do something even though you will see not the fruits of it. To do something just because you know it is what is needs to be done. And that muscle of conviction must be honed through these tests. Take a deep breath in. Now, as more and more souls begin to move into that state of consciousness, it will start to become more easy and natural to flow down that river. As the world, the everyday world, begins to get up to speed and realign itself to that mindset. It will start to become more friendly and helpful to those who wish to wake up in the morning with the intention to serve the highest good and will of the whole through every breath and every movement. To follow where the heart wishes to lead. But at the moment that it remains radical as a choice, goes against the grain. Truly it goes against the grain. But that feeling of knowing, once that is stirred in the soul, it is hard to silence it. And just to go back to that ego mindset of, I'm just going to get my fill here from this life until I die. What's in it for me? Everything I say or do is governed by my ego and its whims. One cannot go back to that once that knowing has been stirred. That can never be a satisfactory path. And one must keep moving forward and stretching that imagination of what is possible, to be a wholehearted being on this planet, living and breathing from that vibration. We honor your courage, in pursuing that, in allowing that knowing to integrate and permeate through all aspects of your being. Your compass, your center, your foundation, your essence. It takes a huge commitment to reorientate your life around that. And it is a long road right now that requires a lot of self-love and compassion to walk it. This gradual stretching in a world that is not encouraging it, that does not support it, that does not celebrate it. Thank you for the contact today. On that note, we will leave it there. Great, wholehearted dear one. Walk this day in beauty. Walk this day in peace.